unit to prime numbers. So consider all the positive integers 1, 2, 3, that is up to n. So their positive factors or divisors are of 1 to 2, of 2 to 1 2, of 3 1 3, of 4 1 2 3, of 5 1 5, of 6 1 2 3 6, and so on. So in this manner, thus the number of positive divisors of any positive integer except 1 is 2 or the more than the on this basis all the positive integers leaving 1 can be classified into two groups, and that groups are group A, positive integers having two positive divisors; group B, positive integers other than the in positive those in A. The positive integers in A are called the prime numbers. Positive integers in A are called the prime numbers, or simply prime. Positive numbers, positive integers in A are called prime numbers or simply primes, and the others in B, the composite numbers, except 1. The members of n are either prime or composite. It means we have the prime numbers, that is the we have given the list. So in the 1 minute. Definition. P belongs to n is a prime number if there are two conditions. One, P is greater than 1, and second is 1 and P are the only positive divisor. Of P. Then definition. N belongs to capital N is a composite number if n is positive. Number 2, n is not a prime number. So for this example is 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 5, 7, this 11, yes, up to this are the prime numbers. And 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 are composite numbers. Understand? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, all these numbers are the prime numbers, and 2, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, these are the composite numbers. So here we have your primes are the such numbers, yes, which is not divisible by, which is divisible by itself, that is a prime, and these are the numbers, it means composite numbers. So these are it divides 2 and itself, So these are the composite numbers. So theorem. Every positive integer greater than 1 has at least one prime divisor. So this is the method of contradiction. On the contrary, positive integer, suppose m is a positive and it is greater than 1 which has no prime divisor, then consider s of such positive integer greater than 1 with no prime divisor, and s is different from phi, hence m belongs to s. So s has the least element, say n. By Weil ordinary principle, now since the n belongs to s, and n has no prime divisor, also n divides n, hence n cannot be a prime. So n is a composite number. Here n is a composite number. Then n is equal to, suppose ab, for some a and b belongs to n, such that a is in between 1 to n. A is in between 1 to n, or 1 less than b less than n. B is also in between 1 to n. So now a less than n is a. Must have the prime or divisor. Must have the prime divisor. Say p. That number is, say, p. That is, p divides a. Thus p divides a, and a divides n. So we have n is equal to ab. So this means p divides n. P divides n. N has the prime divisor. N has prime divisor. But this is the contradiction, and hence the initial assumption must be wrong. Therefore, every positive integer greater than 1 has at least one prime divisor. So here there are an infinite number numbers of primes. This is the theorem. So here we just have to take, yes, p1 is equal to, suppose 2, p2 equal to 3. Suppose p1 is equal to 2, p2 is equal to 3, then p3 is equal to 5, p4 is equal to 7, p5 is equal to 11. This pn is equal. So these are the n prime numbers. Then you have to define 1 plus p1, p2, that is up to pn. So now then m is positive integer. Positive greater integer. Greater than 1. So m has at least one positive prime number. N has at least one positive divisor, and say that divisor is P, that is P by M. Then since P1, P2, P1, P2, P3, that is up to Pn, exhausted the list of all the primes, P belongs to P1, P2, Pn. So it means P divides P1, P2, P3, that is Pn. So this is equal to P divides M minus P1, P2 up to this. So it will be P divides 1. So one has only one positive divisor, one itself. So since P defines greater than 1, P greater than 1. So this is the contradicting facts. This is contradiction. This is the contradiction. Hence the initial assumption that the number of primes is finite, and this must be wrong. Therefore there are a finite number of primes. Therefore there are a finite number of the primes. So in this manner this one is over. Theorem number if P is a prime and P divides AB, then P divides A or P divides B, where A and B are integers. So P is a prime and P divides AB, then P divides A or P divides B, where A and B are the integers. So for this you have to improve, let P be the prime and P divides AB. So if A divides B, if P divides B, then theorem follows. Suppose that P does not follow A, then we show that P divides B. So now P does not follow A, this is P of A is 1. Then by the Euclidean lemma, P of AB is equal to P of B. So then theorem, if P is a prime and P divides A1, A2, A3, that is up to AN, then P is then P divides at least one factor A suffix I of the product, so that is P divides A suffix I for some I, where yes 1 less than K less than N. K is among the 1 to N. So this is a theorem. P is prime and P divides A into A1 into A2 into A3 into, that is up to AN. Then P divides at least one factor AI of the product, that is P upon AI for some I where K lies in between 1 to N. Then theorem, if P, Q1, Q2, that is up to Qn, are all primes and P divides Q1, Q2 up to Qn, then P is equal to Qi for some I where I is in between 1 to N. So likewise this, so we have to improve, you have to write here amongst this theorem P, Q1, Q2, N be the primes and P divides Q1, Q2, divides Q1 into Q2, that is up to Qn. Since each Qi is a positive integer, then P of Q1, Q2, Q3, Qn is equal to P of P by Qn, P by Qi for some I, and where 1 less than I less than N. I must be between 1 to N. So, but the divisors of Qi are 1 and Qi. Each Qi is prime. Also, P is greater than 1, then P is equal to Qi for some I, 1 less than I less than N. So we have considered the integers greater than 1. Here if we consider the integers greater than 1, these 2, 3, 4, that is, it is observed that this integer can be expressed as a product of primes. That numbers are 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 3, 4 is equal to 2 into 2. 5 is equal to 5. 6 equal to 2 into 3. Then 6 into 2 into 3 or is equal to 3 into 2. So likewise this. So hence this theorem can be, we can prove the theorem in this manner. So the fundamental theorem. Fundamental theorems of arithmetic or unique factorization theorem, this one. So it has, sometimes it will be asked, prove the fundamental theorem of arithmetic or unique factorization theorem, prove it. So the statement of the theorem is, every positive integer a is greater than 1 can be written uniquely as a product of primes, apart from it, from the order in which the factor occurs, that is a is equal to p1, p2, p3, that is up to p suffix r, all pi being primes. So it has, this is the statement for fundamental theorem of arithmetic, or we can call it as unique factorization theorem. So every positive integer, we have suppose a must be greater than 1, can be written uniquely as product of the primes apart from the order in which the factors occurs. So that is a is equal to p1 into p2 into p3, that is up to pr, being all primes. These are the prime numbers. So uniqueness of prime factorization. So we possibly assume that suppose a is factorized in different two ways. So suppose a is equal to p1, p2, that is up to pr, is equal to q1, q2, q suffix r, q suffix s, r is less than s. Where all pi and qk are prime numbers, are primes. There will be no loss of generality if we consider it. Then P1 less than P2 less than, that is P suffix R, and Q1 less than Q2, that is up to Q suffix R. So from this P1, P2, P suffix R is equal to Q1, Q2, Q suffix R, Q suffix S. So it projected P1 divides Q1, Q2, and that is up to QS. So this is equal to P1 is equal to QI for some I, where I is between 1 to S. P1 less than P1 is greater than or equal to Q1, this one. So similarly we have to just to go and calculate in this manner, then we will have the factorization uniqueness theorem. So we'll take the examples. So this theorem can be illustrated by taking the example. Suppose we have 35 numbers. This number can be written as 5 into 7. 5 means this is P1, this is P2, 7 is P2. So here P1 is equal to note 5, P2 is equal to 7. Then suppose the number we have 210 is 235 into 7. This is P1, P2, P3 and P4. So P1 is equal to 2, P2 is equal to 3, P3 is equal to 5 and P4 is equal to 7. Then 72 is noted as 8 into 9, 2 cube into 3 square, that is P1 cube into P2 square. P1 is 2 and P2 is 3. So in this manner we have to just to go and calculate the number 55125 is equal to 9 into 125 into 49. This is equal to, yes, square of 3. 5 cube are 125 and 7 square is 49. So this is equal to P1 square, P2 cube and P3 square. So here P1 is 3, P2 is 5 and P3 7. This is 7. So in this manner we have to just to calculate the 35, 210, 72 and this number. So we can define in this manner again. So in example, prime p is greater than 3, then that 2p plus 1 and 4p plus 1 cannot be prime simultaneously. So any integer, suppose we have the solution, the prime number is given p greater than 3, then we have to 2p plus 1 and 4p plus 1 cannot be prime simultaneously. So any integer, and hence p can be written as 3k plus 1 or 3k plus 2. Let the prime this p is followed, that is p greater than 3. Since p is a prime, it cannot be assumed that the form 3k has p is equal to 3k plus 1 or 3k plus 2. Hence, let p is equal to 3k plus 1, then 2p plus 1 is equal to 2 into 3k plus 1 plus 1. This is equal to 6k plus 3, that is 3 into 2k plus 1. This is the composite integer. This is the composite integer. So for this again we can have, for p is equal to 3k plus 2 plus 2, 4p plus 1 is equal to 4 into 3k plus 2 plus 1, then this is equal to 3 4k plus 3. This is equal to 12k plus 9. This is the composite integer. This is composite integer. Yes, in this manner we have to, if we have given the prime, if p greater than 3, then we can show 2p plus 1 and 4p plus 1 cannot be a prime simultaneously. So this is the meaning of this is given in this example. So if example again take 2 to the power m minus 1 is prime, then m is also prime, also a prime. So in this is contradiction method. So if we do m in solution, two to the power m minus 1 be a prime. Suppose that m is not a prime, then it must be composite. Then m must be composite number. That m is equal to then ab. Now 2 to the power m minus 1 equal to 2ab minus 1. This is equal to 2 power a and b minus 1. This is equal to 2 to the power a minus 1, bracket complete. Yes, again 2 to the power a b minus 1 plus plus 1. Then it can be noted 1 less than 2 to the power a minus 1 less than 2 to the power m minus 1 and 2 to the power a minus 1 divides 2 to the power m minus 1. Hence 2 to the power m minus 1 is not a prime, this is not a prime number. This is a contradiction. And hence m must be a prime. M must be prime number. So in this manner we have to just once solve this. Then theorem there are infinitely many primes of the form 4n plus 3, where n is a positive integer, when n is a positive integer. So this is the statement of the theorem. There is infinitely many primes of the form 4n plus 3, where n is a positive integers. Again we have to look into this example of this a square and b square is is equal to c square if a and b is equal to c, where c is positive. Then theorem: if Pn is the n prime number, then Pn less than or equal to 2 to the power 2 n minus 1. So we have to here just apply this. We have to apply here. This is if n is the nth prime number, then Pn less than or equal to 2 to the power 2 n minus 1. So here Pn plus 1 greater less than is equal to P1 P2, that is up to Pn plus 1. Then Fermat's numbers or Fermat numbers. Fermat's numbers. The integers of the form, suppose 2m plus 1 this is called the Fermat number, where n is non-negative integers. They are denoted by Fn, that is Fn is equal to 2 to the power 2 n plus 1. The first first 5 Fermat numbers are F0 is equal to 3, F1 is equal to 5, F2 is equal to 2 to the power 4 plus 1 is equal to 17. F3 is equal to 2 to the power, yes, it will become 8 plus 1, that is equal to 257. This is F4 is equal to 2 to the power 16 plus 1, this is 6 5 5 3 7. So in this manner all are prime. All these numbers are prime numbers. All are primes. So Fermat conjectures that the Fn is prime for all non-negative values of m. So Miller's prove that. So F5 is a composite, and Fermat was the conjecture is disproved. So we cannot have the conjecture. Here we have yes again this is Fn 2 to the power 2n plus 1. Suppose 2, the value of n is, suppose we have taken here, this is 1, 4 plus 1, 5. This is 5. So in this manner we have to just to have the values for this. Theorem. The Fermat number F5 is divisible by 641 and hence is composite. So we have, this is the theorem. So we can have, this is have the a big proof. So we have to denote this A is equal to 2 to the power 7 and B is equal to 5. So 1 plus AB is equal to 1 plus 2 square, that is equal to 1 plus 640, that is equal to 641. So and 1 plus AB minus B to the power 4 is equal to 1 plus B, A minus B cube. So that is equal to 1 plus 3B, this is equal to 16, is equal to 2 to the power 4, and hence A minus B cube is equal to 2 to the power 7 minus 5 to the power 3, this is equal to 3. So F5 is 2 to the power 2 to the power, किती संख्या? किती वाचतो?
2 raised to power 2 raised to power 5.
5 है? 2 to the power 2 to the power 5 plus 1, that is 32 plus 1 is equal to 2 to the power 4 into 2 to the power 28 plus 1. It becomes 2 to the power 4 and 2 to the power 7 power 4 plus 1. So this is nothing but the 1 plus AB minus B to the power 4, A to the power 4 plus 1. This is equal to A to the power 4 plus AB into A4 minus B4 into A4 plus 1. So this is equal to 1 plus AB to the power 4 plus 1 minus A4 into B4. So that can be 1 plus AB, A to the power 4 plus 1 square minus A square into B square into 1 plus A square into B square. So that is equal to again 1 plus AB, A to the power 4 plus 1 plus AB into 1 minus AB into 1 plus A square into B square. Take common. A plus, take common 1 plus AB. So it will come then 1 plus AB, A to the power 4 plus 1 minus AB into 1 plus A square into B square. So this is equal to 1 plus AB divides F5. So that is 641 divides F5. So in this manner we have to do the calculation. There are infinitely many Fermat primes. Okay, the general guess is all Fn greater than F4 are the composite numbers. So in this manner we have to just to try to look into this. Then theorem for all positive integers n f0 f1 that is up to fn minus 1 is equal to fn minus 2. So we have this theorem. Again try to understand the problem. We have again theorem. any two distinct Fermat number are relatively prime are relatively prime, that is, so if small m and n are distinct non-negative integers, then f suffix m and f suffix n have the value 1. So this can be, you can prove this also. So if we have two values for m and n, so let m is less than n, then f0, f1, fn is equal to fn minus 1 is equal to fn minus 2. So the distance, let the distance is equal to fn and fn. So that can be projected distance of fn and distance of fn. This is distance of fn minus f0, f1, f2, that is up to fn. That is up to fn minus 1. So this is nothing but the d by 2, and d is equal to then 1 or d equal to 2. So but fm and fn are old integers, and hence the GCD cannot be cannot be 2. So d is equal to 1. That is, so this is fm fn is equal to 1 for all m does not follow n. So this is the theorem. It means you can have this. Now the linear Diophantine equation. So linear equation into unknowns are ax plus by equal to c. This is linear Diophantine equation. Linear Diophantine equation. So we will have this. Suppose the equation is ABC. We have taken these values. These are the integers such that both a and b are not 0. Then this intermediate equation into unknowns x and y. We consider the equations where both x and y are non-negative integers. X and y are non-negative integers, such that the type of the equations are called linear Diophantine equations, and so let the form 10x plus 6y, 10x plus 6y is equal to 100 or 100 and 10. In solving this equation, variable x and y are restricted. They are neither fractions nor negative integers. They must be non-negative integers. In this present situation, there are three solutions. Yes, that will be xy is equal to 5, 10, then 8, 5, then 11 and 0. So these are the solutions. So possible solutions are this. Theorem for this: a linear Diophantine equation ax plus by is equal to c. So this has a solution, if and only if d divides c, where d is equal to ab, and moreover, if x is equal to 0, y is equal to y0 is a particular solutions of the equation, then all solutions are given by x is equal to x0 plus b upon d into n, y is equal to y0 minus a divides d into n. So for varying, so integer n. So this Diophantine equation a and b and c integers, then both a and b are not 0. This intermediate equation in two unknowns x and y. We have to find value of x and unknown y. X is unknown, y is unknown. We have to find out this. And has a solution if and only if d divides c, where d equal to ab. Moreover, if x is equal to x0, y is equal to y0 is particular solution of the equation, then all the solutions are given by x is equal to x0 plus b upon d into n, y is equal to y0 minus a upon d n. So varying integers n. So in this manner we have finished out the topic. That the topic name is prime numbers. That the topic name is prime is over. Prime is over. Prime numbers are over. Second unit, prime number is over. Prime number is over.